actually a warm room with my own shower and toilet. Whole bunch of beds, TV, beautiful. What is this? Jack Daniels. Hey, who left it here? Not as good as Smirnoff, but you don't always have access to Smirnoff vodka. But I just thought I'd give you guys an update because this has been an interesting day, December 11th. And actually, you know, I believe in numerology, and 11 is my number. It's 1 plus 1 is like, you know, an important number. But what happened was I booked an appointment at the Caterpillar dealer in Cambridge, Ontario to replace my thermostat, because, you know, that's an important part of the engine. And I promised them that I would be here, and I'm now in Cambridge, I would be here today in the morning, Wednesday morning. And if you saw my previous vid, episode 6, it took me a while to get loaded, and then actually on the way back it started snowing. It was very bad once I hit New York, but I was able to reach all the way to I-90 in New York, and I think the town was called Leroy, New York, but basically where 390 meets I-90 in New York, Rochester, right? And then I go to the first rest area, and it's already dark, it's snowing, it's so miserable, you know, and my truck doesn't want to pull. I don't know, there was a whole bunch of hills, and I'm driving and I'm thinking, I want 373, you know, the axle ratio. And it's like 3 tractors, like each one is, I don't know, 12,000 pounds, 36,000 pounds, you know, that's ridiculous, like 15 tons metric. And the truck just, you know, and I can see how I look at the PSI, the turbo boost, like I can see it burns fuel. Anyway, so I go up to the first rest area. It's like 10 miles west of the Rochester interchange, and there's trucks everywhere. There's not a single place to park. There's like people park near the pumps where signs say no stopping, not even parking, no stopping. And there's a cop, like in a car. He sits and whistles and looks around, and I'm thinking, okay, this guy is gonna give me a ticket. So I don't know where to go. There's like 200 trucks because of the snow, you know. People just shut down. Actually, that snow started when I was close to, there's a TA truck stop, exit 15, on that, I think, what, 390, and the town is called something with D. I forgot, but it's like not too far from the border with Pennsylvania when they go north. I was coming on 15, and then caught this, you know, 390 going north. And people started shutting down there because I'm driving, I cannot see anything. The snow is so bad, you know, I was doing like 60 kilometers an hour at times, like 40 miles per hour. You cannot see anything, you know. And the road is covered with ice, and I'm thinking, oh my God, like where do I stop? And there's nowhere to stop, so I had to go all the way there to Rochester. But anyway, so I stopped at the no stopping sign, and I'm just, you know, evaluating my options, like what do I do next? Definitely I cannot sleep there. I just don't like when you sit like that, and any moment someone will knock on your door and tell you to move your truck, you know, or give you a ticket. So I stay there, I have my engine running, and I look at the cop's car, and he's coming towards me. And I'm thinking, uh-oh. And he comes over towards me, he rolls his window, and he says, you cannot stop here. You cannot stay here. But he says, if you go 3 miles down the road, I already sent a few trucks down there because there's such a mess here. No place to park. He says there's a parking area for double drop trailers, like a private parking area. I think they rent it from the throughway, you know, from the toll road. And the cop says, I warned them that I'll be sending some trucks over there, so if you want, you can go there. I said, okay, thanks a lot, you know, because I didn't have a choice. I couldn't stay there, right? So either I move somewhere or I go to this place, which was only 3 miles down the road. And I go there, sure enough, he explained to me how to get there. And it's just like a parking lot, you know, a big parking lot. It says signs, you know, private parking, unauthorized vehicles will be towed. But of course now I am an authorized vehicle because, hey, the cop told me. I don't know his name, I don't know his badge number, but he told me I can stay there. And it's just parking, you know, there's no bathroom, no showers, you know, no nothing. So, but at least I had a place to park. And then for 2 hours those crazy guys in snowplows were running around, you know, cleaning this stuff up. Anyway, so I was determined to be here in Cambridge like in the morning. So I set my alarm for 5:30, but it was already cold in the truck. I didn't idle. If you might know from my previous videos, I just don't like idling, you know. I don't like that shaking bed and that noise. That's why I never pull a reefer. I don't understand how people can sleep with that brrrr thing behind them. I cannot sleep next to them. I don't know how they can stand that noise inside the sleeper 3 feet away from that 500 horsepower reefer. Forget it. Anyway, so I wake up at 5:25. Alright, so check my load. All the chains are good. Check my airbags, because sometimes, you know, what happened before, those airlines freeze and I see my airbags. I have no air. This time all is good. I call customs broker because they open like 24/7. I check my paperwork. They say, yeah, you're good to go to the border. Alright, so it was like 50 miles to the border, you know, like 80 minutes. Wait a second, 80 kilometers, 45 minutes. I go to the border, I'm cleared, and then I start, you know, driving, and I'm here at 9 o'clock, and I drop my trailer at my parking area, and I go to the cat, and then I start. So they're gonna replace the thermostat and the clutch linkage, and then actually they tell me that it's not the thermostat, it's some kind of a valve. They checked it with some kind of diagnostic equipment, like special thing they have. I think the word radar or ultraviolet or something was used. I'm serious. They were using something to see through some kind of a gadget that shows them the actual temperature of the liquid, of the coolant inside the oil lines, you know, like amazing. So they were checking the accuracy of this thermostat, and they said, no, it's not your thermostat, it's some kind of stupid valve. And I think I already replaced that when I was in Alberta like a year ago or something. I had the yellow amber light on the dashboard, you know, something was wrong with the coolant system. But anyway, it's like $150 part, so what do you do? And I go to a truck, I go to Starbucks, and I start looking for loads out of this Winnipeg where I'm going with these tractors. And there's a nice load, 49,000 pounds, going to Texas. And right away I'm thinking, alright, so it's minus 25 Celsius there now, which is I think like what, minus 10 Fahrenheit, I don't know, but it's very cold. And if I go there with this 358 axle ratio, plus I have now heavy tractors, and I want to go through Northern Ontario, and then I want to pick up that load, let's say, right, 49,000 pounds, like I would definitely kill my fuel mileage, you know. In this weather, I don't know, it's just that sometimes you really want to drive slow, you know, like yesterday when the weather was bad, you know, I want to drive 56 miles per hour, but the truck is not pulling because my RPM are too low. So anyway, I called this guy in Milton, in Milton, Ontario. There's a gear shop that did my work, and I said, can you do it this weekend, like Thursday, Friday? He says, oh yeah, sure. Did you find anybody to take them out, put them back in, like the differentials, those big, you know, jugs where all the gears are? Because this guy, he's like a blue collar, you know, he only deals with gears, and he wants someone else to take these big differentials out of the truck and put them in once he does his piece. And I said, well, I'll use the same guy I used last time. If you remember, when I was switching from 342 to 358 because that was too fast. Now this one is too fast. But anyway, so he gives me, and then I call this guy Mike, who owns a shop in Milton that can do this thing, and he says $1,000. I said, what? I think last time you charged me like $600 to take them out, put them back in. He says, well, but you need new oil. I said, forget oil. I'll get oil at a TA truck stop somewhere in the States, much cheaper. He says, okay, $700. But that's still already expensive, you know. So my truck is at the Caterpillar dealer already, and Milton and Cambridge, that's like 50 kilometers, like 25 miles, 30 miles, and then I have to sit there, right? Now I'm at a hotel in Cambridge, 5 minutes walk away from the Caterpillar dealer, you know. And so I go to Caterpillar and I say, guys, I have a offer for you, you know. How much would you charge to do this work, you know? Because that truck is already here. So they take me inside, and they bring some guy like the mechanic who really knows this stuff, and the guy says, well, I think, you know, 5 to 7 hours, and their rate is $100 an hour, or 110 or something, but so pretty close to what that Polish guy wants me to pay, you know. So I said, wait a second. So if you want me, if you're okay with that, you know, I'd rather you guys do it, you know. And he says, sure. I said, you can do it now, like till tomorrow? The guy says, yeah, sure. So I called this guy John and Milton, the gearhead, and I said, get ready, I'm coming tomorrow. I'll just bring these differentials to you. And I asked the cat guy, I said, can I put them in my car, in my Mazda? He says, no, you need a truck. That's when, you know, I'm gonna miss my Ford F-150. Anyway, so I just went to a rental place, and I rented a cargo van for tomorrow, and that's considered only half a day. So they open at 7:30, so I'm gonna go there. It's just down the road from here. I can walk, or I can actually drive in my car, leave my car there. And I get that cargo van, I drive to the Caterpillar. They load these two differentials. They already took them out. I was just there, I saw, you know, it's like, these guys are amazing, you know, it's like a real professional shop, you know, they have so many people working. The differentials are already on the floor. He says, you can take them now. I said, well, I don't need them now because the gear shop is closed. So tomorrow I'm going to pick them up, deliver them to this guy, and he said he already ordered the gear set, and you need 2 of those for each differential. And then he says they should be done later in the afternoon, and then I'll just wait there, you know, hang around some shopping mall or something, and then bring them back here, and these guys will install it, and then they will change my speedometer, because now my speedometer will not be accurate, right? And then Friday I'll start tracking, or Saturday I'll start tracking towards Winnipeg already with 373, which means that my truck will have more torque, more power on hills, you know, it'll drive a bit slower. I won't be able to do 85 miles per hour anymore, but, you know, it'll be much more rewarding for me as a driver. You know, I like it when you have power, when you accelerate, when you go uphill, you know, because this one, it just dies because I want to do 56 miles per hour, like 90k an hour, and the RPM is already 1200. And the truck, especially with the load, is you know, like, I hate that. So that's what big thing is happening, is that I'm changing this the gears tomorrow. Oh, and of course, you know, I was running for like 3 weeks, and but because I had that big clutch repair, I had to call Anstar. I said, hey, give me $1,500, you know, I'll give it back, I promise, you know. And they said, okay. So they took like 3 hours. They put the money on my card, and that's what's happening. Oh, and one guy called me. He saw my ad on Kijiji about my flatbed, and just, you know, for the sake of it, I put the truck in there. You know, hey, if you want to buy 2 for the price of 1, you know, I got a 2004 truck. So this guy says, he calls me now because I told him I'll be in Cambridge today, and my trailer is here. And I just met him, and we went look at the trailer, and he's some kind of he used to be a mechanic or something, or a driver, I don't know, but he seems like he knows about, you know, vehicles, trailers, trucks, and stuff like that. So he looks at the trailer, I think he likes it, and then he says, so can I see your truck? I say, well, the truck is in the shop because I'm changing gears. That's like a whole bunch of money, but I mean, I had to do this repair because I wasn't sure, you know, I'd be ready to part with the truck, because if I sell the truck now, let's say if he makes me like a generous offer for the trailer and the truck, okay, I got a step deck, I have no truck, you know. I don't like buying a used truck again, running into the headaches. You know, if I were to buy a truck, I would probably buy something, you know, used, I mean, something new, unless I saw some nice ads, you know, where you can buy like a heavy haul truck with low mileage, you know, like some of those that people use like for a regional haul, where they pull like heavy equipment. I just saw like a, you know, beautiful Western Star with a small sleeper, and I think it was like $19.99, you know, with heavy axles, low mileage, like relatively, like I think it had like 500,000 miles, you know, because these guys like run locally, but of course they probably abuse them because they haul really heavy loads. But I don't know, maybe that might be an option, you know, just get a heavy haul used truck. I think that Western Star was selling, I think, for like either 25,000 or 30,000 or something like that, but not too expensive. You know, I could probably use the money this guy gives me for the international, but I don't know, it just doesn't make too much sense, you know, because I still have a step deck trailer. You know, I'm not sure I can make payments for the truck, for the brand new truck, and the step deck trailer. Like I said before, I think if I had a lowboy trailer, a double drop trailer, you know, I could afford that. But anyway, this guy says, give me a number, you know. So, oh, and he says, can we see the truck? I said, well, it's in the shop. So we drove to the shop, and I asked the foreman, I said, can we go in? These guys, you know, are interested in buying my truck. And he said, okay, put your hard hats on, your vests on. All right, so we go there, and they take a look at the truck, you know. And I tell them that pretty much everything, a lot of important organs, so to speak, parts were replaced this year, like starter, alternator, compressor, right, air dryer, clutch, now the gears. So if any gears are defective, they'll be replaced. I don't know, so it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make too much sense for me to sell this truck, because it's still a good truck, you know. Oh, like every used truck, right? I complain about it because they all like rattle and stuff like that. Oh, by the way, the guy looked at that hinge that the hood sits on, and this guy comes from the international deal, and he said, yeah, that's he says a known problem for international trucks. He says basically that thing with the rubber thing on it, it sits on a firewall. It's like a piece of metal. It has 4 bolts. And it's just connected to there's no nuts. I think these are like rivets or something. And he says sometimes they get loose, and there's a hole. You have to buy a kit. You cannot just replace the one bolt. You have to actually buy this whole kit, because he says that thing, yeah, because whoever designed this was you know, was probably on drugs or something, because the hood is so big and it all sits on a tiny little part. But that's what causing this noise, you know, when I was driving. So big day today and big day tomorrow. So right, I'm renting a truck and picking up the gears, differentials, delivering them to this gear shop, bringing them back, and hopefully I will not run out of money, because it's all very expensive, you know. But I'm just glad that my truck will be, you know, will have renewed energy. You know, it'll be a joy to drive. You know, I'll just keep chugging at 60 miles per hour, but I should be saving, you know, money and fuel. So thanks for watching. This was a quick update from Cambridge, Ontario. I'm Sergie Dratchev. Be safe.